E equals mc squared means that energy and matter are one and the same. It's the same thing in different forms. Think of it like steam and ice. They're both water in different forms. And so what this means is that everything in physical reality, everything that appears solid, is actually just energy. So atoms are the building blocks of reality. And the crazy thing about atoms is they are 99.99999% energy and 0.00001% matter. So what that means is that atoms are 99.99999% empty space. So this physical reality that we're in is actually mostly empty space. How crazy is that, right? So nothing is solid. Everything is just fields of energy or frequency patterns of information. So think about the things that you may want in your life. You may want a new car. You may want a new house. You may want more money. All of it is fields of energy or frequency patterns of information. None of that stuff is solid. Again, it's mostly empty space. So if reality isn't solid, if it's mostly empty space, then why can I not walk through a wall? Like, that's a good question to ask, right? If everything's just empty space, why can we not walk through a solid object? And the answer is think of magnets. So if you have a positive and negative magnet, they attract each other. But if you have two positives or two negatives, they repel and push away. So the electrons have a negative charge. The electrons in my body have a negative charge. The electrons in the wool also have a negative charge. So if I go to walk through the wool, what happens is both of those electrons with their negative charges repel each other. So that electromagnetic repulsion is what gives us the illusion of a solid reality. How crazy is that, right? And now I want to share about the observer effect, because this is really interesting. So the observer effect is where the physicists, the smart experts, basically realized that electrons, which are part of the atom, they behave differently depending on whether or not it's being observed. So if it's not being observed, so you're looking this way, the electron is waves of energy. And the waves of energy represent all possible realities. Similar to what Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches. So he teaches that, in the quantum field, which is an invisible field of energy or information that has intelligence and consciousness that exists beyond space and time, have all possible realities exist in the quantum field. So it's the same idea, right? All possible realities exist when it's in wave form. So what that means is that the reality that you prefer, the dream reality that you want, where you're thriving, living your best life, exists as one of those possible realities. And then when there's an observer looking at the electron, those waves collapse into a particle or matter or physical reality. And so it collapses into one chosen reality. So again, when no one's looking and the electron's in wave form, all possible realities exist. When there's an observer, the observer, it's like your consciousness and awareness causes the waves to collapse into particle, which is matter, physical reality, and then it collapses into one chosen reality. And that's what you will experience, right? So what this means is that there is a connection between mind and matter. It means that we are creating our own reality. Now, Einstein said to match the reality, oh no, sorry, he said match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. This is not philosophy, this is physics. So it's like, okay, how do I match the frequency of the reality I want, right? So think of a radio. I like the radio analogy. So let's say you've got the radio playing country music, and you're tuned into a specific radio station, and you got the country music playing back, and you're like, I don't like country music. This isn't my style of music. I would prefer to listen to hip hop. So in order to get the radio to play hip hop back, you've got to turn the dial, tune into another frequency, the right radio station that has hip hop, and then once you've tuned in, you get hip hop playing back, right? So it's the same idea. You've got to tune yourself into the preferred frequency to get that reality to reflect back. So it's about, you've got to shift your vibrational frequency to get what you want, right? And your vibrational frequency consists of how you think and how you feel. And so once you become a vibrational match for what you want by the way you think and feel, that's when you attract it in. Because you've got to be on the same frequency, like attracts like. If you're not on the same frequency, then it's not going to come in, right? So it's like, okay, well, how do I get my vibration to match the frequency I want? And obviously it's going to be to do with changing the way you think and feel, right? But here's the thing. The way you think and the way you feel, your thought patterns and emotional patterns are subconscious programs. So your subconscious mind is what's controlling your vibration. And I'm going to now teach you how to change your vibration by changing your subconscious programming. All right, so I had to change my whiteboard over for this. This is Bob Proctor's diagram. It's a great diagram for explaining this. And so here we have a person, and this is the head that's split into two. And the C stands for the conscious mind. The SC stands for the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind controls the vibration that your body puts off. The vibration your body puts off determines your results. So that's like the radio playing the music back. Like the results is what's reflected back based off your vibration. And so if you don't like the results in your life, maybe you don't have enough money, you don't have good health, you're not successful but you want to be, the only way to change those results is by changing your vibration. And the way you change your vibration is by changing your subconscious programming. So your subconscious mind controls 95% of what's going on in your reality. And so that's why nothing will change if you don't change the subconscious programming. So the conscious mind can generate a thought or idea, and it can either accept or reject the thought or idea. Whereas the subconscious mind only accepts. So everything that's been given to the subconscious mind, it will accept it as if it's true. And the way you change the programming, like if you want to get a new thought or idea into the subconscious mind, let's say it's, a new belief. Beliefs create reality. That's what quantum physics is showing us. So if you believe money is hard to make, money will be hard to make. If you believe that you aren't good enough to be successful, then you won't be successful. So you want to basically reprogram the subconscious mind with new beliefs. And think of the new beliefs of like beliefs that align with the version of you that's living the dream life, living in the preferred reality. So ask yourself, how does the version of me that's living in that dream reality, how do they think and feel? What sort of beliefs do they have? Do they believe money is hard to make, or do they believe money is easy to make? And what I suggest is that you write this down. Write down some new thoughts and new beliefs to reprogram yourself with. So a very common limiting belief is, I'm not good enough. A lot of people don't feel good enough to pursue their dream life, to be successful, to be wealthy, whatever it is. So it's like you write the flip belief, I am good enough, right? So get the new thoughts or ideas, and thoughts or ideas can also be, just what you want to experience in your reality, the new car, the new house, whatever it is, right? Write it down on paper first to get an idea of what you really want, what you want to bring in, what your new thoughts and beliefs are going to be, and your new emotions. Like, what sort of emotions does the version of you feel that's living in that dream life? Are they going to feel stressed and like life's unfair and like they're not good enough, or they don't feel worthy? No, they're going to feel worthy. They're going to feel confident. So take the time to write all of this down on a piece of paper. It's like creating a new self, new thoughts, new feelings, and even new actions and behaviors. Create like a new version of yourself. And then the idea is getting that new version of you into the subconscious mind. So how do we do that? Here's the clue. The conscious mind is the educational mind. The subconscious mind is the emotional mind. So how do you think you get a new thought or idea into the subconscious? And this here is the clue. Using your emotions and feelings. Because the subconscious mind's the emotional mind, you communicate to your subconscious with your feelings and your emotions. And this is why Neville Goddard's book is called Feeling is the Secret. Because feeling is how you drive things into your subconscious. So, again, create that new version of you, and especially, the feelings, like what sort of emotions does that version of you feel? Write it all out on paper, like I said, and then what you want to do is create a daily meditation practice. And so meditation's great because it's a way to drop your brain waves. We have 5 brain waves. There's gamma, there's beta, alpha, theta, and delta. Beta is when you're awake, alert, and aware. Like I'm in beta right now talking to you, and you're in beta, or you could even be in alpha watching this, because we can actually enter alpha brainwave when you're watching TV, when you're driving a car. Alpha is when you're in a bit more of a relaxed state. And then you have theta, which is when you're in that light sleep, the dreamlike state. So when you first wake up in the morning and you're sort of groggy, that's theta brainwave. When you enter theta brainwave, that's when you're in your subconscious mind. So that's the key to changing it. Daily meditation practice, learning to drop your brainwaves so you get into theta, so you enter your subconscious mind. And then you start repeating like those new thoughts and beliefs. And what I do is, for example, I'll repeat, say like, I am good enough, because that's a very common limiting belief. So that's the flip belief. I am good enough, but I don't just repeat it in my mind. I feel it in the body too. I feel good enough in the body. You've got to get the body and emotions involved, because the subconscious mind's the emotional mind, right? So it's like, I am good enough, and then feel good enough in the body. I am worthy, and then feel worthy in the body. It's using your emotions. And then you also want to match the frequency of the reality you want by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That's Neville Goddard's work, right? He says, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So you imagine living that dream life. Like you go into meditation, you drop your brainwaves into theta, start using your imagination. Imagine living that dream life as this new version of you with these new thoughts and feelings. And then feel the emotions of what it would be like to live that dream reality, to be successful, to be wealthy, to have those things you want. You assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled every single day. The key to changing subconscious programming is repetition. You've got to be consistent. You've got to be creating a daily practice and just keep doing this over and over and over. And eventually what happens is you start rewiring your brain, you reprogram your subconscious mind, which changes your vibration, and that changes the results. So I hope that makes sense. Just to recap, get a pen and paper, write down the new thoughts and beliefs of the new version of you that's living the dream life. Write down the emotions that they feel, the actions and behaviors that they take. Then start committing to daily meditation, learning to drop your brain waves, and then start using your emotions to drive that new version of you into the subconscious mind, and to use your imagination to visualize having the things you want, like say the flash car. Visualize being in the car, driving the car, the smell of the car, and use your emotions, feel as if you are actually driving the car. The idea is you're using your mind and imagination to create this experience that then it gets your nervous system involved by feeling as if it's actually happening. You're getting the nervous system involved, and your mind doesn't know the difference between something real and something imagined. This is why imagination is so powerful. This is the formula. Nothing else will change your reality. This is the formula. It's just committing to it every day and doing this work, not watching videos. I mean, yes, you can watch videos like mine, but I used to be someone that would just watch a lot of videos, spending all this time watching videos, getting inspired, but I wasn't actually putting it into practice. And because I wasn't putting it into practice, nothing was actually changing. So I started watching less videos. I still watch some videos, but I don't watch them as much because I spend that time doing the meditations and putting it into practice instead. And then that's when I started experiencing shifts in my reality. So that is it. That's the formula. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That is how you match the frequency of the reality you want. And that is how you attract it in. Now, if you got value out of this video, make sure you smash that like button or write a comment. And if you like this sort of content, quantum physics, manifestation, law of attraction, spirituality, psychology, that sort of stuff, and just improving yourself as a human, then make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, and have an awesome day. Peace.